Hello. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I have been on camera because it's been a hot minute since I've been on camera. I just got home yesterday from Courtney's place in Austin, and when I tell you it was a blast, it was an absolute blast. We're already planning my next trip. And I had some boxes of things that I had ordered waiting for me. So I thought that we would just play with some new makeup. Not everything's going to be new, but really I'm just getting ready for the day and thought I would bring y'all along. So let's go ahead and get started. I have done my brows and primed my eyes, but that is it. The first thing I'm going to do is use a new concealer. Now I talked about this in the live that I did with Courtney. If you missed that, check it out. It's on my channel. It's on Harbin House's Instagram. And it's basically where I did her makeup. And I used all Jane Iredale products, which if you are new to my channel, I adore Jane Iredale. And they have just launched a brand new concealer. And this is the Enlightened Plus Under Eye Concealer SPF 30. There are 5 shades of it. I do plan on swatching them very soon and putting them up on my Instagram for you to be able to see the different shades. I use the shade number 1. So I have raved and raved about the Enlightened One Concealer that comes in the pot. I mean, I feel like for years. I love that as an under eye corrector. Now, I tried this as a corrector. I've tried it as a concealer, and the way I'm going to use it today is my absolute favorite way to use it. So I'm going to show you. I take the very smallest amount. See that? That's for both eyes. I put it on my pinky finger. I warm it up in between my fingers, and then I'm just going to pat it onto the darkest part of my eye. So that inner corner, and just gently pat it in. I'm going to show you the difference between one eye and the other. Okay, so, I mean, darkness is pretty much gone. Darkness is pretty much there. I have really dark under eyes. So I'm going to just take what was warmed up on the left pinky. No, it's not the pinky. Did I say pinky finger? Ring finger. Oh my goodness. And pat that under this eye. So this is going to be along the same lines as the Enlightened Concealer, where less is more. I have a little bit left on my pinky. I have a little bit left on my ring finger. I'm just going to tap it right here where I have that little blue spot on my nose that will never go away. Less is definitely more. You need, like you saw, the tiniest amount, and I still have like residual product on my fingers, and it gives you instant coverage. The number 1 shade, as you probably could see, does have a little bit of the peachy undertones, and if the Enlightened one in the pot was perfect for you, number 1 is what you're going to want to get. But if you needed a little bit more fair, 0 is going to be more fair. If you need a little bit darker, number 2 is going to be a little bit darker, and then they go 3, 4, and 5. I believe it goes up to 5, where it's even deep, deep shades, which is great. Okay, the foundation that I'm going to be using today is the brand new Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Foundation. I know a lot of people have been doing separate reviews on this. This is the absolute first time that I'm going to be using this foundation. So I'm not going to review it, obviously, because it's a first impression. If you want a separate review, I'll be happy to do one. I just always like to ask first, because when a new product is so saturated over YouTube as far as reviews go, I feel like maybe I don't need to add to the saturation. So y'all let me know. But this is a cushion compact, comes with a puff. You open it up and the product is in here. You can see I haven't even opened this. I am the color Nude. This comes with compact that's in here, the cushion that's in here, plus inside the box, it has a refillable cushion. Now, just like with Shantakai, everything that they do goes back to some kind of animal charity, and you can see the elephant on the compact. They are giving back to the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, and every cushion bought is 1 bottle of formula for baby elephant. So I just think that's awesome. So let me open this, and this is the color Nude, and I know it looks really dark, and I'm hoping that I chose correctly. I've seen other people use this who have similar colors in me and other foundations, and it worked. It's funny. It's so much darker in here than it is swatched. See it on my finger? So I do think that this is hopefully going to work. We shall see. I am not a fan of the little puffs that come in foundations like this. That is just my personal preference. I'm going to do one side with my sponge and another side with a brush and see if I see any difference. So let's start out with a brush. This is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better dual-ended brush. I'm just going to pick up some of the product, stipple it in. This has looked so pretty on others' skin that have used it, so I'm excited. I don't even know what the claims are. And that's going to be for a separate review video if I do it. The color looks spot on. It's glowy. Let's try using my beauty sponge. Picking the product up that way and tapping it in. It's building up nicely. I would say it's like a sheer to light coverage and definitely glowy. I would venture to say I would have to do like a side-by-side of my Future Skin Gel foundation in the pot that I love so much to see which one is glowier. I don't want to say right now because again, I'd have to a little bit more research. But that is the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Skincare Foundation. Now, this is how I've been using the Jane Under Eye Concealer. I kind of use this as my corrector like I do the Enlightened, but I feel like the coverage is so good that I don't need a ton more concealer. So I'm going to take this Clinique concealer and kind of do just like I did on my Instagram Get Ready With Me this past week where I did minimal makeup. And I talked about how I put it just right out here and then I start blending inwards so that I can ensure not a ton gets in this inner corner where most of my fine lines are. And I just get a little bit more coverage. So that's how I've been using these two products. They're what I traveled with. They're all I've been using the past week together. I feel like they work really well and the two of them together is exactly the coverage that I need. But because I'm not using a ton of product of each or either, I am not getting any creasing or buildup or anything like that. All right, let's let all that sink in and go onto our eyes. I got the new Tarte Tartlet Juicy palette. I know, again, a lot of reviews are out there on this, and y'all, I know that most of you know, but if you are new, I am not the person who overnights things and tries to get it up on YouTube. It's too much stress for me. YouTube is fun for me. I don't want it to be stressful. So I might be a little late to the game in some of these, and y'all might be like, yeah, we've seen that palette 50 million times. Why are you just now showing it? But that's just how things are. So this is the Tarte Tartlet Juicy palette. Does have a really nice kind of vanilla scent to it. I know a lot of people don't like that in their powder products, so I wanted to make that known. This has 20 shades, and it's supposed to be, I believe, reminiscent of the 3 9-pan palettes that they launched over the holidays. I did not get that, but these are a lot of the similar colors from what I understand. It's a very cool-toned, pinky palette. There's not a ton of warm tones in this at all. In fact, other than a couple of the shimmers, it's pretty neutral cool. I don't have a clue what I'm going to do. This is the first time I'm using this. I'm going to start off with the color Rose right here on my Rephr number 15 brush and put that in my crease. So again, yes, it is mostly cool tones, but there are a few like pretty warm tone golds right here. So if you did not want to do a pink, you know, a pinky rosy colored eye, there are plenty of neutral shades around the bottom and side where you wouldn't have to do some kind of pink toned eye getting this palette. But because I feel like that's the overarching theme, I did want to do a little bit of those colors. Now I'm going to take a Sonia G Blender Pro, which is a little bit skinnier than the Rephr 15. And I'm going to go in with Petal, which is right here. And I'm going to see how that mixes with the Rose. Petal has a little bit more of a peach tone. I'm just going to kind of put that maybe on the outer corner and a little bit into the crease as well and see how those work together. These do have quite a bit of kick up, but they do seem to be blending really well. Kick Up has never been something that has kept me from enjoying a shadow formula. That added a little bit of dimension. I'm going to pick something to put on the lid. I think I'm going to start with Orchid, which is right here, the shade right here. And I'm going to start with my Rephr number 2 brush, which is like a flat shader brush. See how it applies with that. I did swatch some of these last night, and I did feel like I swatched them with a brush and my finger, and I did feel like the shimmers swatched much better with the finger than a brush, which can be said about a lot of formulas. Some formulas work just as well with a brush as fingers, so I just wanted to point that out. So I'm kind of putting a base coat on, and then I'm going to take my pinky finger, I'm going to be right this time, and put a little bit more on top. So that intensified it a little bit. I do feel like I'm really having to, at least this color, dig into it with a brush. So I do feel like these shimmer sheen colors are going to work better with your finger. Now I'm looking super pink right now, so I want to add a little bit of depth and dimension with something not so pink. So I'm going to go in with this color Luscious right here, which is just a matte brown on my Sonia G Worker Pro. Just put a little bit of that on this outer corner. I can definitely smell the vanilla as I'm working with it. I don't have an issue with that, but some people do. So I like to bring it up. And then with this little pencil brush, I'm just gonna go in with Reflect right up here, which is like a shimmery champagne shade. Just put a little bit of that in the very innermost corner. I'm already deciding, looking at this palette, what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And I am going to use like that pretty peach color and some of those golds to see kind of a warm eye and how that works. Okay, let's go back to the face. I'm going to set with my Chantecaille HD Perfecting Powder. It's like this. Somebody told me they have more than one shade of this, and I do feel like I've seen a little bit of a darker shade somewhere. But I got this on the Shantakai site, and at the time that I got it, they only had this one shade. So if you do have a deeper skin tone, I do think there is a deeper shade out there. You may have to just go searching for it, because sometimes things go out of stock super fast on the Chantecaille site. See how that powder really blurs? It took down a lot of that like shine, but it doesn't I don't feel like make me look super flat. I'm going to use an oldie but a goodie. Someone mentioned on one of my not last videos, maybe my last video, she said she was watching a video of mine from 4 years ago, which bless no telling what it was. But she said that I used the Balm Desert bronzer / blush from the Balm Cosmetics, and that she forgot how pretty it was and that I should use it more. I told her in a response, I said, I don't have it anymore, because I remember I hit pan on it big time, but then I totally forgot that I had repurchased it because I loved it so much, and it was like way back in the recesses of my bronzer drawer, and I pulled it out to use today. I like this because it is more of like a cooler tone. So when I'm using, pinks and cooler tone cheeks, lips, and eyes, I like to kind of coordinate my bronzer undertone to go along with it. So this is perfect for when I am doing cool tone looks. This is my Rephr number 22 brush. And this is called a bronzer / blush. So you can use it for either. For me, I tend to use it more as a bronzer. But if I was like in a really big hurry, I could slap it farther up on my cheeks and call it both. Even though this highlight that I'm going to use is absolutely not new to the makeup world, it's new to me. I had a full-size one of this ages ago, and I ran through it. And then BoxyCharm has their like add-ons. They send you like an email, and it's basically extremely discounted products. And this was one of them, and it was $12. This is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder Highlight 01 from Laura Mercier. Again, I got it for $12, which I have a really decent pro discount with Laura Mercier, but that was even less than if I had used my discount. So I'm going to use this today. It's a gorgeous champagne highlight. Very neutral, so it's going to go with cool or warm looks, because it doesn't really have one or the other as an undertone. This is my Anastasia A23 brush, and I know this is a favorite of many. for good reason. It's just gorgeous. I couldn't speak. Couldn't talk. Okay, for blush, I'm going to use the Lawless Make Me Blush Velvet Blush in Sakura. Just a really pretty pinky peach shade, but I feel like it lends more pink on me than peach, so I felt like it would go well with this look. To kind of balance the eyes out, I'm going to go in with the Luscious color, that matte brown, on a Rephr 23, which is this tiny, itty bitty, smallest pencil brush I've ever owned. Love it. And just do a little bit, connect it to the top, and draw a little bit of a line. Now, I will say, as much kick up as these shadows had or have, I experienced no fallout when I did the top of my eye. So I definitely think that is something to make mention of. And then I'm going to take my Rephr 14 and I'm going to go in with Petal, which is that second shade that we used. And kind of smoke that out. So just to kind of show you these two shades, kind of the kick up that you're going to get. Before I do mascara, I'm going to set with a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Or a lot. I used this new shampoo last night and I'm not quite sure about it. My hair is not quite sure about it either. I did my mascara off camera. I used the Chantecaille Longest Lash Faux Sills, and I was gifted this Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Jasper, and I think I'm going to put this in my waterline. I don't know why, but I'm feeling a little smoky today. So this is, I'll swatch it for you in a second, but it's just a really pretty brown color. I've heard so many good things about the Shantakai eyeliner, so I will have to give that a try. This is the, oh, it's pretty. That's Jasper. Okay, for lips, this is not new, but it's new to me. For my last Charlotte Tilbury order, I added in this Dance Floor Princess. I can't remember the name of this specific line of lipsticks, and y'all know I always put labels on mine and cover things up, but it's the one with the fun packaging. So this is a really pretty pink. It's probably going to end up in my favorites this month. It's not super matte either. You can obviously see it on my lips, but here's a swatch of it on the hand. You can see it's got like a sheen, which I love, but I'm going to add a gloss. Are you surprised? No, I'm just going to use Beauty Counter Bare Shimmer. And that is the finished look. So hopefully you enjoyed this, playing with just a few eyeshadow palette, foundation, concealer, lipstick, just a few new things to my collection. So hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you're staying happy, healthy, safe, and sane, and that most of all, you go out and have a very blessed day.